gorgeous souls, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another one of my videos today. So today's video is a manifestation success story and something very special to me that I wanted to share with you because a lot of you have seen this obviously all over my social media platforms, have been going and finding them in Sainsbury's stores, taking loads of wonderful photos and getting really excited with me. So thank you honestly for being my biggest cheerleaders, for going to the Sainsbury's stores, for taking pictures. Honestly, it means the absolute world, and it has been such a joy to share this experience with you and share this manifestation story with you today. So how did I manifest my book being in one of the largest supermarkets in the UK this new year? Well, let's take it back a step. Let's go back. So Positively Wealthy, my book, launched in September 2020. So a little while ago now. And during the pandemic, I wasn't able to have a normal sort of book launch that an author would experience with a publisher because obviously we weren't doing events. We were in lockdown. There was a lot going on in the world, right? So obviously everything that I could do was online and in my power, essentially, of like what I could do to make it a successful launch and let as many people know as possible that the book is out there and what it's about. So obviously I did as much as I can here on my platforms. You know, I always have a marketing plan that I put together and a strategy. So, you know, I did what I could, obviously, and we did still have a really good book launch. So I definitely wasn't disappointed with that. It just would have been so nice to have a physical book launch party with my publisher. It would have been nice to have done all the physical in-person things that you do with a book launch, but unfortunately I didn't have that luxury to do that. So I was gutted to some degree, but obviously, you know, all things considered, it's definitely not the end of the world. Health and safety were always the most important things with this. So throughout 2021, my main wish as such, or my main goal was, and I wouldn't say this was something I necessarily put right at the top of my goals list or thought like, this must happen, like this is my biggest dream, but definitely one of my biggest intentions was to see my book on a bookshelf in 2021. So that was my intention. I definitely think I wrote it down, but ironically, I couldn't find my 2021 goals list. And quite a few of the queens who did the manifesting challenge couldn't find theirs either. So clearly there was some divine reason we weren't meant to see it and we were just meant to accept what we'd manifested that year. So I either wrote down from memory, see my book in a bookstore or something like that along those lines. And obviously in my head, I was like Waterstones, you know, like Smiths, you know, actual bookstores that you would go to and buy books. I never even considered supermarkets. And I didn't consider supermarkets because knowing about the publishing industry, knowing about how books and getting books into bookstores works, is actually really difficult. And I was like, unless you're selling like X amount of copies, and we're talking like hundreds of thousands of copies, you know, the best-selling books are in supermarkets. It's not really like just, you know, spiritual books. Like I've never seen a spiritual book in Tesco, Sainsbury's. No, like, you know, it's the really high profile self-help books, fiction books, non-fiction books that have sold hundreds of thousands of copies. So to me, it wasn't even on my radar to think about supermarkets because I was like, well, that's not my book. So I've never seen my book in a store like that. So yeah, I just didn't even consider it. Not at all did it even come into my mind to think of it in a supermarket. Definitely not. So throughout 2021, obviously, when I was out and about, I'd go look in Waterstone stores for my book. I'd like, you know, say to my friends, oh, go have a look for me, and nothing. I know there are a couple of thousand books circulating in Waterstones in the UK because my publisher told me that, where I have no idea, and I have definitely not found one. So I, again, was just like, God, it would be so nice to see my book on a bookshelf. Just go into a shop and see it like that. That would be the dream, right? But I was very non-attached to this because after a while, I was just like, look, it will happen when it happens, right? So I wouldn't say this was like a big goal that I was working towards throughout 2021. It was just more of an intention that I set. And then fast forward to obviously like September of 2021, I was doing more book events again. I was doing book signings, meet and greets at the events I was speaking at. So that felt really nice to be, you know, working with the book in the physical and like, you know, people buying it and signing them and stuff. So that was really, really fun. And I loved that. My good friend Caitlin Carhart, who is the author of You Are Cosmic Code, a numerology book, which is phenomenal. Me and her were speaking, and she was like, Emma, I've manifested my book being in Urban Outfitters and I didn't even know. So her manifestation, her goal was to have her book in Urban Outfitters, and she'd thought about this years ago, that she would love a book that would be in Urban Outfitters. So her book is published with Penguin Random House here in the UK, Caitlin's in America, and she was like, Emma, I had no idea. So basically her marketing team that she works with was like, oh yeah, you realize and they're English, you realize your book's in Urban Outfitters here in the UK? And she was like, no. So she was like, isn't it funny how we can set those intentions and they happen, and we may not even know they've happened until it took that one person to tell her that it was in there, and she had no idea it was in there until that person told her, because obviously, she lives in the States. She's probably not scouting the Urban Outfitters website. So that was a massive manifestation for her. And, we were just truly celebrating that, because that is a big deal in the publishing industry. If your book gets into Urban Outfitters, it is a big deal. And from speaking to all my author pals and the industry pals, everyone's like, that is phenomenal. So Caitlin's done fantastic to do that. And it was just really inspiring, because I thought, wow, Caitlin's book has done that and she didn't even know. So I was like, gosh, universe, that'd be amazing. I'd love to have that feeling too of my book being in a bookstore and feeling really chuffed and proud. I kid you not. So there was my intention. I was feeling all the gratitude for my friend. I was celebrating her. I was like, that is freaking awesome. Well done. And in that moment, I was like, universe, I would love for my book to be in a bookstore too. How do I make that happen? And that's all I said. How do I make that happen? I didn't think I need this or I need this too. I was literally my friend is awesome. I'm celebrating her. How amazing would it be if my book could be in a bookstore too? Not Urban Outfitters. For me, I don't really care. I was like, it could be any bookstore. I'm not fussing, universe. And I just held that intention of how do I make that happen, universe? And that was it. So we had the original intention, obviously, at the beginning of the year since the book came out. We then had that intention at the end of November. And within 5 days, yes, 5 days, I got an email from Watkins, my publisher here in the UK, saying, yeah, congratulations, Emma. Sainsburys have picked up your book in their New Year, New Me campaign. So from December the 30th till January the 26th, your book's going to be in over a quarter of Sainsbury's stores nationwide. And I was like, sorry, what? So can we just repeat that again? So where has this come from? I had no idea they were pitching it to Sainsbury's. They don't really tell me that stuff. They just tell me once something's happening. So I had no idea they were pitching it or did that. I had no idea that Sainsbury's had selected it. I had no idea that Watkins could get a book into Sainsbury's, a big supermarket, like I said, because they're quite a small publisher in the self-help sphere. I don't know. I guess I just presumed you would have to be Penguin, HarperCollins, the big dogs to get into the supermarket. And again, my assumption was that you'd have to be selling hundreds of thousands of copies, having a Times best-selling book to even be considered for that. So there's me sorry, what? My book? Are you sure? Are you sure they got the right Positively Wealthy? Are you sure? So it really took me by literal shock and surprise, because 5 days ago I set that intention, and as soon as I got that email, I knew it had been that intention that had done it, because 5 days, come on, it's not a coincidence, right? So clearly, and obviously that would have been in the works for months, I'm sure, beforehand. So all of that would have been coming together, and then I would have set that intention 5 days ago, and then boom, I got that email 5 days later. So it was really exciting and a really pinch me moment of wow, this is incredible. And again, when I told my industry pals and peers, they were like, Emma, the chances of that happening, not to be insulting to me or my abilities, definitely not, but the chances of that happening with a small publisher, with a book that's sold, the amount of copies that I've sold, which isn't hundreds of thousands, #manifesting, I was like, this is crazy, right? And they were like, this is unheard of, but amazing. So basically, I don't know how many books they had in the total New Year, New Me collection. I've seen about 5 or 6 when I've looked in the store. from what I've seen of people's photos, it seems to be the same kind of 5-6 books in this selection. So to be selected, I'm sure, out of hundreds of thousands of applications, which publishers must put in for numerous, titles of their books. Wow. Wow. So I literally had 2 weeks until it was going to be in the store by the time I found out. Or 3 weeks, I think it was. Yeah, 3 weeks. And I just thought, this is so surreal, right? Of how has this happened? How? But amazing. I'm celebrating it. So when I told Caitlin, she was obviously like super over the moon. She was like, see girl, that's manifestation for you in action. Like, we've nailed it. So it was really nice to celebrate that with her as well. And it was just really nice to feel excited that random people who aren't aware of my work, or probably even the law of attraction, are going to find that book and hopefully, come across it and maybe get into the law of attraction and manifesting. So it just made me really excited that the book was reaching a really mainstream audiences it probably wouldn't reach normally, or any law of attraction book as well. And like, let's be real, they could have picked The Secret. Like, The Secret sold like 16 million copies or something crazy like that. They could have picked The Secret, but they picked Positively Wealthy. So I'm very, very grateful and chuffed, and very, very happy, of course. And yeah, basically when it went to November, so I keep saying November, when it went to December the 30th, when the book went out, I actually went on New Year's Eve, so the last day of 2021. And I was like, right, let's go check my local Weymouth Sainsburys just around the corner. And my mum was like, we're not going unless you've called up and checked they've had it before. And I was like, where's the element of surprise, mother? Like, I don't want to call up. I just want to go, and if it's there, have that moment of pure discovery, right? Pure shock and surprise. But nope, my parents weren't on board with that. My loved ones weren't on board. They all wanted to know that it was in the store first before going there. I was like, it's 10 minutes down the road, guys. Like, it's hardly an hour's trip here. So my dad, bless him, called up the store that morning as I was working, and they were like, yeah, we've got it in. We've got like 4 or 5 copies. And the manager was really lovely. And he was like, yeah, bring on Emma down. Like, that would be great. Like, she could do some content, whatever. So it was like really nice, because sometimes obviously supermarkets can be like, no, you can't film in here. No, you're not vandalizing our books with your signature. So I didn't expect them to do much, but they were lovely. So we went on down, and it was just the most surrealist feeling, like just walking up and being like, wow, that's it. There it is. I mean, obviously I've looked at the book numerous times, hundreds of times over the last year and a half. But to see it in a bookstore, a Sainsbury's store, was just wild. And I felt really emotional, and I still feel really emotional now, because I'm like, I have dreamt of this, and the universe just kicked that ball out the ballpark. Like, Emma, you want a bookstore? Try the leading supermarket here in the UK. Just try one of the biggest supermarkets, right? Up your vision a little bit, hun. Not just of Waterstones. Go for the gold. So it was just really surreal. And it was just such a special moment where I was like, there it is. There's the sticker, the price tag for it. It was £7, so it was a bit cheaper than Amazon and places like that. So I was like, wow. And they'd already sold 2 copies that morning. Ironically, the manager said, oh, we've actually sold 2 since you called up. So it was just really nice to think like, wow, people have actually picked that book up and thought, this looks like a good book. I'm going to give it a read. So I was able to sign the 2 copies that were left, which was really nice. And I made a little TikTok and an Instagram reel just to honor that moment and have that little moment. And it was just magical. Like, I know it sounds really silly, but it just was magical to just be like, wow, like on New Year's Eve, the last day of 2021, my 2021 wish came true of seeing my book in a bookstore, i.e. one of the biggest supermarkets in the UK in their book section. So it was phenomenal. And obviously everybody's posts since, I was just shocked how many people were like, I've gone to Sainsbury's. And a lot of them were sold out of books in general, not just mine, just books in general. And obviously it wasn't in every single Sainsbury's stores as well, because there's 1,400, I think, across the UK. So there was quite a lot. So it wasn't in every single one of them, but it was what I feel like it was in more because of the amount of people who posted photos, tagged me and stuff. I was like, well, either everybody's just hitting it lucky and hitting those stores, or I actually do feel it might be in a few more than just the quarter they said. So yeah, I couldn't believe it. And just seeing people's wealthy shelfies, we did a little competition where people could enter and post their wealthy shelfie and have the chance to win an Amazon voucher. Because I really just wanted to, one, celebrate that, but also as well, like make it fun to like go and find them, have a little hunt and have some beautiful pictures to remember it by as well, which I'm obviously going to put in here as well. So it was just wild to see everybody with their like little wealthy shelfie pictures, like seeing all the photos from across the country, in Ireland as well. Like it was just the most surrealist feeling, if I'm honest, to be like, wow, okay, not only have you seen it in your own local bookstore, well, supermarket, you know, you've seen it across the whole UK, really, like up and down, like north, south, London, you've seen it in Ireland, like, you know, you've seen it in all locations, basically. So it was really, really a special moment, which meant a lot to me, and like seeing everybody excited as well to go and find it and have their pictures like just made it even more magical, because I was like, wow, people like are excited with me, this is amazing. And like all the outreach and support from like my peers, you guys, my followers, my friends, my family, my loved ones, like it's just been really special. And it's been really nice that we could all share this together and show authors that it is freaking possible. It is possible for a book that hasn't sold hundreds of thousands of copies yet to then go into a mainstream supermarket like that and be featured next to books that have sold hundreds of thousands of copies, that are Times bestsellers, probably sold even millions of copies as well. You know, the book was next to Glennon Doyle's Untamed, and I was like, oh my God, like I love Glennon Doyle. Like, hi babe, hi Glennon, are you okay? Because my book's next to yours, like I'm not okay. So even just seeing it next to Atomic Habits, Untamed by Glennon, and just all these amazing books made me feel like, wow, positively wealthy, like you've done well, babe, you have done well. And you know, I think as an author, you always want your book to do well. You want it to reach, you know, reach people and help them and change their lives and give them so much joy and abundance. And that is always what my intention has been from day one. And like this book changed my life, as I've said before, like writing this book and living the positively wealthy journey myself, first of all, changed my life in the most abundant way possible. And I am so thankful for that journey to be sat here happy, healthy, positively wealthy, abundant, happy, having Luna in my life, having so many amazing miracles in my life. And, you know, it wouldn't be without this book and my next book as well, which just comes out in November. That wasn't a plug, I'm just saying both have been like life-changing books for me. And to read comments from you guys saying how you've manifested your dreams after years of not being able to, or feeling shifts, feeling happier, manifesting some money that you seriously needed, or anything, even just saying you've really enjoyed reading it, means so much. Because, you know, I think it's a good book, but then you always have that fear when it goes into the wild that people might not think it's a good book, or it might not help anybody. So it's always really nice to get that feedback and to, yeah, like see the positivity that is created from your work, from your hard work. Like 10 months of my life went into this book. Well, more than that, but I wrote it over a 10-month period. So, you know, this was written mostly in lockdown as well. Actually, no, this was written before lockdown. The Positively Wealthy Journal was written entirely through lockdown. So, you know, this book has not known a world where there hasn't been a pandemic. So hopefully the book has obviously helped a lot of you through these times and spread some positively wealthy cheer as well. And obviously I forgot as well, in December, before, or did I know about Sainsbury's by then? Oh yeah, I did know about Sainsbury's by then. So we also did an amazing little event in Brewery Square here in Dorchester, which is my local shopping centre, where we teamed up with Santa. And you can see this clip on my TikTok and on my Instagram reels. And we basically gave out 40 copies to random people in Brewery Square, and Santa gave them to the parents as well at Santa's Grotto. And that was a really special moment as well. And like, you know, a couple of people messaged and reached out after that saying like, oh my God, this is exactly what I needed. I'm so glad this found me. I'm so glad I was in that place at that time. Thank you so much. And again, it's just like, wow, the synchronicities of life is, yeah, like surreal sometimes. And to be able to see my book in Sainsbury's has been just, wow, it's made my life, I would say. Like, that's me happy. Like, I'm like, wow, like if anything I ever doesn't do as well as that now, like I'm happy. Like, do you know what I mean? And obviously I know my stuff always will. I'm not intending that, but you know, it's just having that moment feels so special. And you know, like it's been nice that other authors have taken inspiration from that and are like, well, if Emma can do it, like I can do it, because that is true. That's why I share stuff. If I can do it, anybody can do it, right? So it just, yeah, I think it was just a nice, amazing manifestation for everybody, for you guys, for me, for obviously my publisher, for, you know, my fellow author peers and stuff. Like, it's just been a really magical few weeks where it's been really nice to know that the book is out there and circulating. And ironically, a lot of Dorset stores where I live have had them. So I feel like a lot of them are surrounding Dorset, the copies, because I feel like most stores that people have gone to in Dorset have had it. So, and I mean, I'm only aware of a few stores, so there could be more that don't have it. But it was nice to think that even people locally could find the book as well. So it's nice to know that there's a lot of, well, a couple of thousand copies of Positively Wealthy circulating around the UK that wasn't circulating before. And if you've got a copy, I hope you really enjoy it. I hope it brings lots of love and abundance into your life. And if you don't have a copy, obviously it's in Sainsbury's till the 26th here in the UK, or of course you can buy it from any bookstore worldwide and online that sells books. But just want to say a big thank you, always a big thank you to you guys for all your love, all your support, all your excitement, all just your amazingness, because I wouldn't be able to do any of this without you. I wouldn't have any of these amazing things that happen without you guys as well. So it's a team effort, joint effort, definitely. But and you know, big thank you to Watkins as well, my publisher, for helping me do this and being an awesome publisher and pitching my book and doing all these exciting things. Obviously they play a key role in everything, and obviously, you know, I write the book, so there's my contribution. If it was a rubbish book, it wouldn't do well. So well done to me as well for writing a good book. Well done to my higher self. But yes, I'm really excited for the next book to come out as well in November. It's going to be different to what you're used to, and I'm going to do a video probably in March. It would be nice to have a physical copy that I could hold and show you while I'm talking about it. So I may wait until that point. Although I could do an unboxing video, right? So I do want to share the themes of the next book very, very soon, definitely. I just want to finish writing it, have it all signed off, have it all ready to go to print, and then I can be like, here's the new book, here's what it's about. But it's very different to what you're used to, so exciting stuff. But I hope you've enjoyed coming along my manifestation success story with me. Thank you all for watching this. Please let me know if you found it in your local Sainsbury's store, or what your manifestations have been this month as well. Has anything happened since the beginning of the year? Let me know your manifestation success stories down below, because everybody loves reading them as much as I do. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate all your views and likes. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, because I would love to see you again soon. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comments box down below, because I reply to them all. And don't forget, you can join my free Law of Attraction support group over on Facebook, where you can join myself and other like-minded souls, where we talk all things Law of Attraction and spirituality. I hope you have a great week, whatever you're up to, and I'm sending you all lots of love.